Good afternoon, Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com. Here's your Hurricane and Hurricane HD video blog for Wednesday, July 25th, 2012. Tropics still nice and quiet for the most part. A few areas of interest to point out today. This is a dwindling feature, not even worth the time to mention what's going on with it, because it won't even matter. This is a pretty healthy looking tropical wave, probably has a fairly decent circulation with it, but the air around it still just a little bit too stable, and it's not going to allow this to develop much. We'll see what happens as it curls its way along here in what we call the main development region. Maybe it'll spring to life in this region. Hard to say. The models are back and forth on whether something will develop out of this. And the rest of the Atlantic Basin, nice and clear. Nothing going on in the Caribbean Sea at all. Nothing off the southeast coast to speak of, and just limited areas of convection or blobs of thunderstorms over the Gulf of Mexico, but nothing organizing where it has a chance to become a tropical cyclone. In the eastern Pacific, this area that was once red with high potential for development, now down to just 20%, as this region has become a little bit more hostile for development and overall sinking motion to the atmosphere, not allowing for the upward motion that fosters deep thunderstorms over the tropics. Just a negative period that we're in right now, and pretty typical for the end of July. And once we get into August, you know that starts to change. And here's a reason why. We have these tropical waves lined up over Africa here. You can pick out probably 4 of them, and each of these is a little pocket of energy, an area of heat in the atmosphere and energy. Just a little bit of rotation to each of these systems. Again, instead of the winds just blowing straight across, you do have these little waves of low pressure, these ripples of low pressure in the trade winds that go across equatorial Africa, and these will all march out into the Atlantic, and one of them might develop. I think they are spaced far enough apart that once you get, especially number 3 and number 4 here, these two, once they emerge into the ocean in about a week or so, hey, maybe they'll have a chance to develop. So we'll have to start watching that, as at that point in time we will be in the very first days of August. The Saharan Air Layer continues to give ground and starting to really erode away now. As you can see here, the moisture is starting to increase more as each tropical wave comes off and adds more instability and moisture to the atmosphere. That SAL, the Saharan Air Layer, will continue to retreat, and the season will start to come more to life. Not that anybody's looking forward to it, right? It's just the way it is. The evolution of the season marches on, and everything is pretty much going according to what it should do for this time of year. This is a neat animation from the University of Wisconsin. It is a total precipitable water. Basically, the way that you should interpret this, when you see this dark orange color here, in the Gulf, for example, that's a lot of precipitable water, a lot of juice in the atmosphere. And you can see this is evidenced here too along this front. Then your blue areas and yellows and aqua colors, not as much moisture in the atmosphere, a drier atmosphere. And you can also see why these are called tropical waves. There's one there, another weak one here, and this is the wave, the tropical wave that flared up over Florida in recent days. But you can also see the leading edge of the Saharan Air Layer right here, very prevalent, and how that pushed its way across the western Atlantic Basin, finally into Florida, and you've had some really incredible sunsets, not too much unlike those on Tatooine in Star Wars. Remember that? The beautiful double red sunset there when Luke was standing over that crater in Star Wars Episode 4. No Saharan Air Layer there. That was just, hey, special effects from an early Industrial Light and Magic. But these special effects of the beautiful sunsets in Florida are the result of that Saharan Air Layer that brings literally African dust, fine particulate matter into the atmosphere, scatters the light in just such a way that when the sun is low on the horizon, you get these amazing sunsets. Nothing going on in the tropics to worry about for the next several days. Very good news there. Nonetheless, we'll keep watching it and see when things do turn. We'll be on top of it. Again, I am Mark Sudduth, my website, HurricaneTrack.com. As always, a pleasure to produce these videos for Hurricane and Hurricane HD, and I'll be back with another one tomorrow.